Dear students, in the previous lecture video, we have come across components of hardware. The different components that we have discussed is input-output unit, CPU, that is central processing unit, and the memory unit. So in today's class, we'll have a look on the other terms that are related to the computer. Let us begin our class with the subtopic called data and information. So what is data actually? A data is something that is collection of facts, figures, statistics which are required to be processed. They are not processed actually. They are required to be processed. So you can see the facts, figures, statistics, whatever you have will be processed and the computer will get the data in terms of the computer understandable format. Once the data is given to the computer, the data needs to be processed, and the processed data we will call it as information. So information, the computer processed data with meaningful information. When we get the output, certain things that are to be arranged or that are to be reframed or collectively collected and summarized can be done in the processing. So that is the information. The next terminology that we are going to discuss is the software and the hardware. So many of you have come across this term called software. Many of you are using different softwares in your mobile phones. Like one of the software that you are using or app you are using, application software we will call it as, that is Zoom Cloud Meeting app. So that is used for distanced education. So software is nothing but the set of instructions. So instructions are nothing but the set of commands that are given to the computer to perform a job. Or the software can be a collection of programs or a program that makes the computer to work. It can be working in some or the other way around. Now talking about the hardware, hardware refers to the physical component of the computer that you can touch, you can feel. We have discussed about the hardware in the previous lecture also. In this lecture video, we will be exploring the software and its types. There are two types of software that we have. The first kind of software is the system software. The second kind of software what we have is the application software. Now what is system software and application software? Sir, you may have some doubts. So let us jump into the system software and application software and see the difference between system and the application software. Now the word itself is going to tell us system in the sense that is built for the computer, that resides on the computer or makes the computer to work or control or manages the operations on the computer. So the system software consists of programs, because softwares are nothing but set of programs or the instructions. So even system software consists of the programs that controls the computer system or manages the operations of the computer system and its devices that are attached to it. The devices that are attached to it can be keyboard, mouse, printer, scanners, speakers, different things, plotters, different things can be attached. So example for the system software is C language, C++, that is directly going to make the computer to function. The other examples are way around, that is operating system, that you have Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows XP, all these are the system software that are directly working on the operating of the system. The next kind of system software is the printer drives. When you buy a new printer, you need to install that printer. That means you need to install the connection between or establish the connection between the computer and the printer. That needs a special kind of software we will call it as a drivers. Okay, that drives the connection between the computer and the output device, that is printer. Now, the other kind of system software that is already available in the computer once the operating system has been installed is the hard disk analyzer. What do you mean by hard disk analyzer? Now we have amount of memory that is present in the secondary storage device, that is hard disk or hard drive. That drive is divided into different disks or different segments. So that segments are been analyzed, what amount of memory space is been occupied or what amount of memory space has been freed. Okay, what is the gap between one memory area and the another memory area? Can we reshuffle them? Okay, all this will be done by the hard disk analyzer. Okay, so once you open your computer, you can just type in the search bar and type like this, disk defragmenter. You will get the hard disk analyzer. The next kind of software that we have is the application software. So application softwares are used for particular purpose, specific purpose you can say. So it is also consisting of a set of programs, but these set of programs are not going to manage the computer or control the computer. These are basically designed to make the user more productive, make more use of the computer, and it's assist them with the personal task. It also assists the user with their personal task. Example, Microsoft Office suite. You have MS Access, MS Outlook, that is emails, okay, PowerPoint presentation, MS Access for database, MS Word for typing letters. These all are making your work easier. Okay, so hence these are the specific type of software that are more intentionally used for productivity of the personal computers or person who is working on the computer. And different tasks you have, like we talk about commerce student, you have Tally for accounting purpose. Okay, different things are available. So that all falls under the application software. Now jumping into the unit introduction, because you are talking about computers, like how the human beings are evolved through different generations. The computer also has been some history of evolution. So where does this word called evolution has come from? The word evolution comes from the Latin word called evolve, which literally means to enroll or to unroll or enfold. Okay, that is how we will have the meaning of evolution. Evolution of computers we are talking about is generally referring to the historical development through which the computer and the technology that is related to the computer have passed from the times they have started to existence in the ancient form to the current state what we are using now. Okay, palm top, laptops, okay, smartphones, all this. So knowledge about the history or evolution of computer gives us a deeper understanding of the origin and gradually how the development of the computer has come across mechanical to electromechanical or electromechanical to electronically technology that has changed through years and that have brought the kind of computers we see today and help us to predict how they will be in the future. So this is the evolution of computer we are going to talk. Let us jump into the first, where the age of computer has begun. Now jumping into unit of evolution of computers, like you can see a human has evolved through different ages. Okay, first he was ape, then he started developing his skills. Okay, then he became a most powerful person who can create anything. Okay, so all this. So generations of computer are also been evolved through different ages that you can see in this diagram. So before we had a computer that were very large in number. Okay, that is large in number in the sense large in size. Okay, not in the number of units they have. They are large in size. They would occupy room or full room or full floor. Okay, they use air conditioners. We'll be talking about it. Then we have different system that we have. Now we are using laptops. Okay, smart yoga laptops which can fold at any angle. Now you can take a tablet just like the computer which can perform any task. So you have mobile phones that all are evolved through the evolution of computer itself. So let us jump into the origin of computing device first, and later on we will jump into the generations how the computers were being evolved. So origin of computing begins with counting and calculating the things that we have using devices. The origin of computing started with the early men who used their fingers to count 1, 2, 3, 4, or they used the stones to count the figures, or sticks to count something, or they had marks. Okay, you can see the Roman numbers, okay, marked on this, or stat marks, okay, on the walls, on the ancient caves, or they use the sand to measure the time, etc. These were the counting devices that were first evolved: fingers, stones, sticks, okay, marks on the walls, and sand, etc. So then they thought, why don't we go for computing or calculation part? So the word compute was derived from the Latin word that is called as com, which means together. So putre, which stands for add, calculate, count, or estimate. So compute means together we add, together we calculate, or together we count or estimate. So over the centuries that we have come across, people have developed an amazing variety of data processing techniques and technologies or techniques that we have used. So we will take the data processing technology from the ancient to the present. So talking about the example of ancient counting and calculating devices, which includes the abacus. Many of you have come across the training of abacus, Napier's bone, the slide rules. All these are the examples we will be discussing in the counting devices or counting machine. The first one is called as the abacus, which was developed in the 3000 BC. Now you know the history, you know AD, okay, BC, all those things. So this is the technically how the abacus will look like and function. The beginning or the foundation of the computing device is the abacus. That is the first computing device that has been created. So one mark question you can be asked in the final examination. Name the first calculating or the computing device used. What is that? Abacus. So which was basically developed in 3000 BC by the Chinese. Okay, see, China has come over here also. Okay, so about and roughly around 5000 year ago, we have abacus is been built. It was built out of a wood or some kind of plastic material nowadays, having beads around. These are the beads. Okay, wood. Basically, it is made. Originally, it was made with wood and beads around. These beads are used for counting. So the abacus helps the people to keep the track of numbers as they do the computing. It is a quick but has a limited storage capacity. That means the figures here can be represented in terms of numbers that you can count over here. So these many number systems can be, or these many calculations can be performed. So after I move over this calculation part, over this figure, no calculation can be performed by the abacus. That is a limitation. So now what all things the abacus can do? So now when you move to China, Chinese are using this abacus in their stores also. So abacus is still used today by schools. Many of the schools uses abacus. Okay, the Montessori based schools will use abacus. The shopkeepers in Asia, the blind children are taught to use the abacus to perform the calculations. So all these were the uses of abacus. Okay, that's the first computing device. The abacus is an excellent substitute for memorizing the multiplication tables also. Okay, so memorizing or mathematical Vedic maths, all those things will be taught by the abacus itself. So you can generally memorize this, and based on this memorization, teaching other number system is also possible. Hence it is easily adopted, okay, by any of the base system. What do you mean by base system? Base 10 values, that is decimal values. Okay, other type of values can also be accommodated by the abacus and its uses. Moving to the next kind of computing device that we have is Napier's bone. He is a person called John Napier, okay, a Scottish mathematician and inventor who invented Napier's bone for the decimal point. So he is the person who invented this decimal point. You have decimal point, like you write the pi value as 3.14 to the point. Okay, the decimal point is invented by this person only. Okay, he's already dead. Don't worry. So Napier's bone has invented the decimal point. The Napier bone was famous for the creation of the decimal point. So in 1617, the last year of his life, Napier bone invented a tool called, John Napier invented a tool called Napier's bone. So the Napier's bone were used for different purpose, that is multiplication table. Written on the strips of the bones, they used bones like human bones or some animal bones for creating. Okay, and ivory or silver or wood. The invention was used for multiplication, that is performing multiplication, division, and taking the square root and the cube root of a number. So this is the first device that can do the square root and cube root of a number by using the beads. Okay. So let us see the image how the Napier's bone will look like. So this is an actual Napier bone made up of wood, but the one which is original or made up of bones is not been depicted over here. So it has a set of rods that you can see. These are the set of rods that you have, which can make up to this figure, and the left is the index rod. These are the index rods which are fixed into the case, non-movable. These all are movable and these all are non-movable. Okay, which are numbered from 1 to 9. Numbered from 1 to 9. The movable rods are numbered at the top. The movable rods are numbered at the top. These are the top values that are movable. Okay. So the numbers down them rods show the product of the numbers at the top of the times. Now you see, 0 into 0 is 0. That is 1 into tables you have. Okay, 0 into anything is 0. 0 into 1 is 1. Sorry, 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into 2 is 2. 1 into 3 is 3. 1 into 4 is 4. 1 into 5 is 5. Similarly, like this. 2 ones are 2 table. 2 zeros are 0. 2 ones are 2. 2 twos are 4. 2 threes are 6. 2 fours are 8. Like this. Now 7 table. 7 zeros are 0. 7 ones are 7. Okay, 7 twos are 14. Like this. 1 and 4, 14. 21, 28. So these are depicting the values. Now when you want square root of some number, 7 sevens are 49. You have square root of the number, cube root of the numbers also you can find by using this Napier's bone. So the next and today's last computing device is bought by William. Uh, Slide rule was been bought by Oughtred, William Oughtred, which has been created in 1622. Similarly, like this Napier's bone, it has some type of slides which is originally in circular manner, which is based on logarithms. Okay, so logarithms you'll study in the science. Okay, when you move to physics or chemistry for certain calculations. So it was primarily used as a calculator for engineering in the 19th and earlier 20th century. So engineers used this for finding the logarithm of a number. So this has a common accuracy of 3 digits. The slide rule is an analog. Analog means which is made of or operated by humans, okay, which needs certain person to operate it. That is called as an analog. When you talk about digital, it is not required. The humans will not be required. They will perform their calculation automatically. So it is an analog device which provides sufficient accuracy but was not suited to the situation where accuracy was needed. Okay, the most accuracy was needed, such as in accounting purpose. No, basically you can find the logarithm. Not most successful device, okay, but still worked out. So in the next class we'll move to the next category of the evolution of computing device, that is the mechanical computers that we have. Now in today's class we have discussed the analog computers that were analog computing device that are operated by the humans or with the hands. Okay, thanks for watching the video.